is going to be... We're definitely going to see a lot of long-range weapons.
There's one.
Yes. And
there's another.
And we got a tent umbrella in here.
Yes, we do. I like that pick from Simo with Dash going on the L3 too.
And L3 coming a little bit into the conversation of competitive play, getting nerfed just a little bit. But I think, wow, that is 2 down already.
That's 2 down, and they're
3
surrounded.
down.
Could be, that's all 4. I like how we were both watching the overhead cam.
Yeah, we weren't even... we're just
But that is 4 down on the side of Sayonara. InControl doing an outstanding job there. I think they only ended up trading 1, maybe 2, but you take those for the full wipe.
Definitely. I mean, oh, and that is 2, I think, 2, almost 3 down on the side of...
Yeah, and I'm not sure where Simo's at this moment, but he's going to have to be careful after showing himself with that hammer.
Oh,
Bagel hitting
barely,
3 hits, but not the 4th.
Barely making it out of there alive. I spoke too soon. He is now not... He's definitely splatted.
Yes, and Bagel doing another great job there with the ballpoint, able to get Biscuit, who's on a ballpoint himself as well. And I like this from a backline. Push on over that right side bridge and just exert pressure.
Yes, I really like seeing that from the side of A2M, just to like piggyback off. It's really important that on a Splat Zones map, you want to push forward, you want to pressure that team, the other team, and get yourself a few more points before they potentially make it back in.
And it's going to be a strong right side push. Quake doing a great job to save Biscuit there. You know, Quake's absolutely just one of the best players all around, because not just does he have incredible splatting power, he's a great teammate too. He's always doing call-outs, and he's looking out for his team members as well.
And I think, you know, every time we talk about Splatoon 2, we do have to talk about the fact that it is a team game. It is very different than most shooters where you're just independently playing and you know, you don't have to really worry about too many other things. But if the communication is not there, like in a Splatoon match, it becomes very, very difficult to overcome the other team.
Yes, and unfortunately for InControl, they're going to have to overcome that wipe, and Sayonara already making great progress off of that. Pushed up 2 on left, I would imagine at least 1 on right, as we see Jared coming in with the flank, but he gets caught out pretty quickly there. And Sun having to make a quick retreat himself.
I mean, I think this really demonstrates why you have to be able to push forward. You get a few extra points, you give a little bit, and you know that timer is still ticking down.
Yeah, and Simo not quite able to whip that hammer out for the yeet, but they do get the zone off of it, and he might be able to get a pick here. So much damage.
So close.
And I think that was Quake who was able to finish off Sun. And now InControl are finally back in a good looking position to tick away some of those points. Oh, I'm surprised Jared didn't poke his head out there, try to throw a bomb onto that jump. But maybe, oh, that's because he's on the flank. I wasn't even aware. And neither were InControl until that mine called him out.
Oh my goodness, Jared going off with the triple.
3.
Can they get the quad?
Simo just barely being able to back away, and he's going to have to back off entirely, I think. That was a great stop there from Sayonara. They gave up the lead, but it's worth it to get 3 down.
Yes, I think it, you know, just the fact that these, wow, hello. These teams are okay giving up the lead because they know that they can come back from that. It just shows their confidence.
And Simo's hammer is outstanding. He might have just gotten a yeet 2 onto Bagel, I think, with that hammer that we saw out of camera frame. But 1 minute left. InControl looking really good after they've taken... Blissey fall off? Blissey fall off? Nope, no Blissey fall off. So sad. But Anthony able to live, trying to respond a little bit to Biscuit there. But they're starting to run out of time here. Gets a nice kill with the bomb. That might be enough of an opening, especially with those bubbles coming out now.
I think maybe the bubble should have come out before they jumped in.
Maybe.
To protect that jump. I think it was a little bit of a precarious situation.
It was that. Dash goes down, and this is going to leave back to spawn as well to regroup. I like that maneuver. Simo using that Brella shield intelligently to get out.
This is going to be really close, I think.
This is, I'd say they have 1 push here before the clock runs out on them, and with all 4 being missiled, not good. That's going to be very tough. They're going to have to hold forward here, and they have to do it very quickly, too.
Oh my
no.
goodness.
And that is a narrow, narrow victory on the way of Sayonara, just barely beating out InControl. And Splatoons can be so, so tough.
Yeah. What a
match.
What a match. But you can see that the KA is pretty similar from both teams.
Almost identical, minus at least at the top and the bottom of the players. You know,
Yeah.
no one's really jumping to be a standout, but no one's straggling either. It's all a team effort on both teams.
I did want to point out a little bit that something I noticed before that visual went away. Sun ended up getting 7 missiles in that time. Missile spamming.
We've been talking about this.
Yes, we've been talking a lot about missile spamming during our time here. It is something that we never really expected to happen to competitive because when we started Splatoon and there were missiles, everyone's like, missiles? Who uses those?
And that was the same thing that you heard for years. I think it took 2 years for missiles to become kind of even thought about in competitive play.
Yeah.
But now I think people want them nerfed, or at least the special charge meter buffed a lot. Or I shouldn't say buffed, I should say nerfed. Increased.
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 That cap.
Buffed, increased. They're not so different, but they are very different in this situation.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we do have our counter pick.
Yes, an anchovy tower control. And I imagine that we're going to see Biscuit switch on over to the charger here so that they have the Stingray ready to go. I say that after not remembering if they stayed on ballpoint. Yeah, they might have stayed at ballpoint for Prophecy.
Maybe. I can't remember. But
I think they did, but
honestly,
I don't want to see them.
Honestly, whatever Biscuit plays, it's going to be good.
Oh, it's going to be very good. Biscuit, one of the finest chargers out there. And I want to see him hit some flicks.
You're
biased.
just being selfish
well,
now.
The people at home want to see it too. Let's be real. But going into the second map, we'll see if InControl are able to turn the tide here. A very different comp than I was expecting from InControl. While Biscuit does go on the ballpoint, the surprise picks are Dash going on the Neo Splash. Not the Neo, just the Vanilla Splash. And Simo moving over to the Soda Slosher, which is not a bad pick at all. I've seen him using that Bomb Rush to really challenge the backliner.
I think actually it is not a bad pick for this particular map because that Toxic Mist can be really deadly,
yes,
as we can see it right there.
It's already working in the favor of InControl, and it's allowed Biscuit to do great things. The last member, Jared, having to jump out for Sayonara just to have a chance to coordinate this push back in. And with that rain going out, this is going to be very tough. They've got all 4 specials up, 3 of them used, and Quake's just waiting on that last Booyah Bomb. Let's see where he puts it.
Oh,
on
right on
tower.
the tower.
I like it. That's going to force Sun down.
And hopefully give InControl just a few more points, maybe even breaking
Quite a
second
few more points. Simo and Dash focusing up top.
Yeah, Simo was not in a good position there.
I mean, they were trying to coordinate a group effort to take out Ant, but Bagel luckily coming to Ant's rescue and sweeping them away with that ballpoint of his.
For sure. And I think, you know, you can see really the expertise of both of these teams because they do not miss a beat when they take out the enemy team, they stop a push, and then they push forward. They turf, they turf, they turf, and they turf some more.
I think the best teams that we've seen out there are the teams who, on a wipe, they don't just go running towards spawn trying to get a pick. They make that map theirs.
Yes. Because when you make a map yours, it makes everything so much more simple. Hello, Inkjet, that's really high up.
I saw this earlier from Arashi using that wall to get a very advantageous position, almost impossible to take out, while still giving you so much vision over the entire map.
That first combat.
I love it so much. It's such a menacing but cute animation for a terrible special. And by terrible, I mean good. Good terrible.
Like, deadly terrible.
Yes.
Yes.
Terrible to go against. Quake, I think, might have hit that onto Jared. That's impressive if he transferred that. But Bagel is exerting a lot of pressure here on InControl Snipe. And neither team really in a position to get aggressive with their offense or their defense.
I see all the specials kind of coming out a little bit one by one. Not really seeing anything too coordinated. Maybe Sun can make something of that Booyah Bomb, trying to make that push happen, and I think it's going to happen. That was 3 down on the side of InControl.
But I believe it was Ant that I just saw get a nice double. That was so cleverly done, using that wall to duck back down and then pop a few shots up. And Biscuit going to get double bombed there from the pro and maybe the squeezer or the octo shot, not sure which.
Oh my gosh, look at all that.
The fall off damage, I know.
This is going to be close right now. I do believe that Sayonara does get that lead, using the bubbles kind of desperately, trying to hold on to that tower just for a little bit longer.
It was pretty risky, but it could have paid off. Unfortunately, not quite able to get out between the wall and the tower, so Anthony does go down, and that's going to be end of push, but yeah, Jared's been found. 3 members of InControl start looking at him. He should just run away at this point.
I don't know. I feel like if InControl saw me, I would probably be running for the woods.
I also don't know, because Jared, while I said that, did not go too far, stuck around, popped an inkjet, and ended up getting a pick.
And that is why these teams are considered the top teams of NA.
But while all of that happened, Sayonara do get wiped, and InControl are going to do a very good job of starting to push up here. Now, it's a shame that they weren't able to break that checkpoint earlier, because if they were, or if they had, they'd be in a much better position to get this push. But with a nice pick there from Dash, and that flank's going to get called out too. Jumping back out now. Ooh, Quake gets a nice trade.
That was a good trade.
And they are on the tower. Simo having to do a little dance. Oh, so close. Simo. That might be GG's. There's going to be one more chance, but it's going to be a very tough one.
They're going to have to be able to take that tower in order to get into overtime to begin with.
And Sayonara are not going to touch that tower. They're going to paint up the map as much as they can and not allow InControl to get anywhere near it.
And I think
that is going to be a GG's.
Oh, everyone is exploding.
So 2-0 to the way of Sayonara. InControl did a very good job, and I think what I've been seeing from them pretty much in every match that they've lost is they do a very good job of getting an early lead, then not quite able to defend and keep them from losing lead, and just not having that last little bit to get over the edge and retake it.
I think that what InControl needs to do is they are playing very aggressively. They're putting a lot of pressure on the enemy team, but I think they need to know when to cut their losses and when to pull back just a little bit so that they can restart the push, not quite back at ground zero.
Yeah, I agree. I think, they do play a very balanced style, swaying from offense to defense pretty much fluidly without any hesitation, but I think making that call of when to back off, that's a very good point that you make. Just a few too many times that they find themselves in a 3v2 or even just a 2v2 with 2 members coming back a lot closer.
Yeah.
Because they were pushed up already. So it's just leaving them in some difficult spots, and it's led to them losing map control a little bit too much here and there.
Yeah, I think if they have maintained just a little bit more map control, I think they definitely have the mechanical skill to be able to push forward and to, get that victory.
And we shouldn't take anything away from Sayonara too, because
not.
while InControl are playing very well and they might be making a little bit of a slip up here and there by losing that map control, Sayonara are making some things happen. I saw Ant take out 2 players on the perch.
Yeah.
While just hanging on the wall with that tap away squeezer of his. I mean, that's not something that you expect from many people out there.
I think it just speaks a lot to the level of play that these teams have. Both teams are so close to each other in terms of mechanical skill, communication, and it's just such a little bit of a difference that makes the games.
I mean, we look at that scores there, 95-91, 62-60. These are so close. InControl have probably, I think they've ended up losing now, including these 5 matches total, and I think every single one has been by single digits.
Yeah,
so they're playing very well, but both teams are, and I'd love to see a Game 5 because I haven't gotten to cast a Game 5 yet. I really want to do that, but we're going to go to Splat Zone's Mako Mart. All-around great map. I do think it actually favors Sayonara a little bit considering their comp. I think the bubbles, we might see Quake pull out bubbles on a squeezer, but I don't really like that potential because when you're going against Ant on squeezer, that's not the trade I want to be.
You don't want to put yourself in that position because you want to give yourself the best probability. Yeah,
of winning that matchup. And I think anytime you have a squeezer on squeezer, if one of those is Ant, the other squeezer is not going to win that very often.
Yes, because Ant is just so impressive mechanically.
Yes.
Impressive player.
So it might favor, and it could just be a comfort pick too. I know a lot of teams play this map because it's been so prominent, because it's such a good map, honestly. But we'll see what they come out here with. I'm most interested in what Simo's going to play.
The flex, right?
The flex. It could be a Soda Slosher. It could be a Tenumbrella.
Well,
you never know.
We'll have to see.
Or it could be a Splatbrella. He's been pulling that out quite a bit too. And we see quite a change. And it's going to be Tent on the way of Simo. I like that pick. I think that's fairly strong here, especially with the Ink Mines and the Hammer.
It's funny that you mentioned Anthony or playing the squeezer and then pulling out a junior.
And pulls out a junior instead, I know.
And that armor coming out so quickly, it just shows how great the junior is as a support weapon.
And I think Ant making a bit of a misplay there, trying to, I don't know, shark, but definitely had armor and was clearly visible and got found out way quicker than he needed to be.
I think maybe Ant might still be in the squeezer mode.
He might be. Quake doing a great job of using Biscuit as bait there. And that's going to be 3 down on Sayonara. Ant's going to have to do a little bit of dancing to get out of there and survive. And he's going to end up jumping out entirely. Ooh. Great pick there from Biscuit. Can we get another?
Can we get another?
I love seeing doubles and triples from Chargers.
You know what? I think our audience at home loves it too.
Oh, nearly. But right now, InControl are doing such a good job pushing up. And we did see earlier in a previous set that Sayonara opted for a non-backline comp, and it didn't end up working for them pretty much at all. As good as Bagel is at Nautilus, I think it's just a little bit too imbalanced to go up against a backliner like that.
I agree, and you know what? InControl still holding that zone. That score is ticking down mighty quickly.
And those missiles are going to delay a lot of stuff here too. Ant's not going to have an armor in time to really make a push in here. So they're just going to have to brute force this, and it's not going to be enough.
Wow.
That was dominant from InControl. Yes, let's go InControl. I heard that out there, someone in the crowd. Thank you very much, 9. But we do get to go to a Game 4. I'm very happy about that because 3-0s, while it's good to watch, teams show just how good they can be.
Could be better. Could be better
if we get to see both teams bring in their A game. And I think that's more of a slip up on Sayonara's part, just based on comp.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that Ant should have gone off of the squeezer. I think they needed that pressure. They needed that firepower.
And I don't think Bagel should have left ballpoint either. His Nautilus is better than anyone in this world that I'm aware of because I think he got like 2,800 in solo queue, which is not everything, but every time I see a clip of him, he's destroying multiple people. But having that rain, having the bubbles from the squeezer, it would have made so much better for that combo to push back in with instead of armor and I think baller, which is much more
like a laid back kind of.
It is. It's not as menacing or intimidating as having a wall of bubbles and rain coming your way.
Or just the rain cloud just kind of inching closer to you.
Yes. But we'll see if they amend that. And this is the first time we get to see Sayonara counterpick against InControl. And they're actually going to opt Rainmaker. It's Turf War. It's Splatfest.
guys.
We're going to the Thunderdome. And it's going to be Rainmaker on Anchovy. That's a
unique pick.
Unique pick.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's
it's a quick one sometimes.
You think they're going to bring it right?
Yeah, definitely. If they don't bring it right, they're throwing.
Yeah.
Guys, don't bring it right. We don't want to. Anyone who's out there watching. We're going to
breed the next competitive community.
No, and it's going to throw.
The right bringers. That's what we're going to call you guys.
The right bringers.
The bright ringers.
The bright ringers.
The bright.
Oh, my. But it will be interesting to see what comps they end up going with. I think, personally, I really hope to see Anthony back on that squeeze because I think the bubbles can be a very good option for a Rainmaker push. They basically just make this tunnel that they're seamlessly able to move through without any real pressure. And as far as what Bagel does here, again, I think just ballpoint so strong.
Unless they bring out the Nautilus again.
Unless they bring out the Nautilus again, but so far it hasn't seemed to work in this set and the one versus Quantum. And I think we'll end up seeing a fairly similar comp to the one we just saw from InControl. I expect Simo to still be on Tentabrella as a nice means of pushing, and possibly Biscuit switches off of Firefin to go for the Ray variant, but he might also just switch over to Ballpoint. We'll see here.
Yeah, we'll see. As we get started with our round 4 of our losers quarters.
Our game 4 of our losers quarters, yes.
Yeah, I said round 4.
You said round 4, what is game 4? There's a difference. And but anyway.
Ooh, we do see a Sorella Brella coming out on the side of InControl.
And Simo has been using that quite a bit. I think they used it earlier on Black Belly. It's a really good option to have for a quick repop. But I think the most important thing that I want to see from InControl is who's going to be their Rainmaker picker. Because previously it had been Biscuit, and Biscuit had Rays during most of those matches, and it didn't allow for any backline pressure to be exerted on the players standing between the Rainmaker carrier and the pedestal.
We do see Anthony coming back, making a comeback with that squeezer.
Oh no.
They are pushing very, very aggressively into the pedestal, I guess, area of.
Yeah.
Oh no, this could really spiral out of control. Wow, that was we even see Sayonara popping off on main stage.
That I want to say is their party piece. Watch out if anyone ever gets counterpicked by Sayonara to head to Anchovy Rainmaker. That was brutal.
That was pretty brutal.
Jared getting a big 4KA there. And
we didn't even have time to talk about the match.
We didn't. No.
By the time we said something, they were done.
But that is 3-1 to Sayonara, and they will advance on through. I'm curious.